This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Rooted Latinas, aka Raíces Latinas.
Yes.
We are a podcast where we share our journey of adapting from a Latino household to life in the U.S., discussing challenges, transforming obstacles, and celebrating personal growth. We are your hosts, Maria and Rocio.
And Rocio Hermosillo. We're so excited and huge shout out as this episode is sponsored by Infinite Resources. So see if you need to look for a job, they're where they can help you.
Yes, you guys are probably saying, where are the other two? We're missing two hosts. Where are they at, Rocio?
Yeah, we kicked them out.
It's our podcast now.
No, totally kidding. You know, I don't know if this was shared recently, but Jamie had her baby not too long ago. So muchas felicidades, Jamie. And she's on mom duty. So happy for her. And also Mariana is actually celebrating her son's birthday today. Happy birthday, Julian.
Yes, feliz cumpleaños, Julian.
We love you. And so all of this was tying back, as Maria and I were talking about, is what a perfect day to talk about self-care.
Yes, and we're really excited to touch base on this one because it's been a journey for each one of us to kind of even know what self-care is. So we wanted to talk a little bit about this, and we have some top questions that I feel like we've been asked, and also just in general spark the conversation because we want to let you guys know, like, it's okay to be not okay, and learning how to get through that, and what are some things that we have done, especially as entrepreneurs, as, you know, a 24-hour business, women, family members. Like, it's you know, it's tough out there. So what do we do, Rocio?
Gosh, drink alcohol. No, I'm kidding.
Girl, you're supposed to say that.
Yes, no, y'all, I'm really kidding. Like Maria said, you know, there's a lot of things that happen in our lives, and sometimes it's okay, like you said, it's okay to not be okay. And to really start off the question or the topic, Maria, I wanted to ask you, you know, was there any specific instant in your life where you were like, oh my goodness, I really need to do better self-care? Or have you always just taken care of yourself really well?
Oh, I wish I could tell you that I've always taken good care of myself. But I feel like it's, you know, I think starting with understanding what self-care is and how important it is and what that really means for you. For me, I feel like it was never prioritized as when I was younger. It was just like, you just get through life, like whatever happens, you just get through it. And I remember, like, there was a time where, like, I felt like my body was just kind of like shutting down. And like when I went to the doctor, they were like, well, are you stressed? And I was like, well, no. Like, I honestly didn't even know what stress was. I feel like I didn't understand what it was really. I think that's why I answered like no, when in reality, like, stress is more like beyond just like feeling a certain way. It's really just everything that kind of hits you. So I think with me, like, really starting where it hit me was just really understanding what that meant and understanding what really like brings me peace, mindfulness. And I think that's where I started opening up my mind to like which way to kind of go to fulfill me.
I really love that,
Yeah.
especially when you asked the question of yourself, what brings you peace?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, what does bring you peace?
Oh, girl, sleep. I feel like I always had told you guys, like, I'm such a night owl. Like, I would be working like until 1, 2 a.m. Like, you will receive emails from me at that time.
So true. I can attest to that.
Yes. And I never knew how much that was really affecting me and my health. Like, I would wake up super tired, but I would do it because I needed to be up and there was things that needed to be done. But like, I think like even just that, I was like, you know what? Sleep actually means a lot to me because I rest, and I like my mind, understanding who I am, my mind runs 24 hours. Like, I'm constantly thinking of stuff. I'm constantly thinking about the next thing. So when I sleep, I'm just like peaceful.
Okay.
You know, at the time,
huge.
It's huge at the time too. So I started thinking about like, what are some things that really kind of release thoughts from my mind, because that's really where a lot of my conversations were, in my mind. And when I played soccer, I think that was another thing that would just like made me forget about everything else and just focus.
Dang, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can relate to a lot of that as well. What made me think of you when you were saying how you would stay up till like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, you're responding to emails. When I was growing up in the corporate world, it was like you're trying to race yourself up the ladder. And so you're trying to outwork, at least I was trying to outwork, outperform myself so that I can make it to the top. What I didn't know, what I was risking on that was my self-health, was my self-care. And it took me a really long time to realize that I had no self-care.
Yes.
It wasn't until I finally crashed that I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And I was operating that way because of trauma, but I didn't realize it was trauma in the way that I was reacting to my day-to-day world. It was like what you said, this is just how you get through life. And I feel like as immigrants, sometimes it's like you just get done what needs to get done regardless, right? Like you said, you'd go out, you'd work, and you'd wake up 4 hours later and there you are back at it again. But it's like our parents, when did they actually pause?
Right.
When did they actually get to enjoy themselves? And I even think about them like, dang, it took a really long time. So I'm really blessed and glad that I learned it and caught it earlier on than I would have if I was in my 50s or 60s or gosh, who knows how old.
Imagine how many people right now have probably still going through that.
Right, because you're just operating, you're not being proactive, you're being reactive to everything. So you're not taking control of yourself. You're just allowing everything else to control you.
Right.
And then you lose that and
you don't live a purposeful life.
You don't.
Oof. How old were you when that kind of
hit?
All that happened? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys read, I recently did a post on Facebook. It was actually talking about this. I was, what was 2 years ago? I was in my late 20s. And I had thought, oh my goodness, I accomplished all these things. I had these big goals, becoming debt free, owning a certain amount of properties, making a certain income. And I kept hitting them. And I'm like, I don't feel more fulfilled. I felt more stressed, more anger, and I just wanted to quit. And when I think about that, I reflect, I'm like, dang, Rocio, you were just so fixated on the outcome that you never enjoyed the process or the journey. And I never made time for myself to actually take care of me. I was always taking care of others. And that was when it finally hit me of reaching out to mentors, or I was like, no manches, hasta aquí aquí ya no voy a quedarme. I don't want to feel this way anymore. And it was impacting my relationship, both my personal relationship, but also with my son, with my friends, with my family. I didn't even want to talk to them. I was just in a really dark place, and I didn't know if that all of this ended up causing me to feel super, super depressed, but I never wanted to share it with anyone because I felt weak. I felt that people would view me differently, when at the end of the day is we're all human and we can fall through these. What really ended up helping was just reading, and what you said, what brings you peace? I didn't know. Like, I remember one time you're like, Rocio, are you stressed? And I'm like, no. And you're like, okay. But I didn't feel myself stressed. I think you could feel the energy and the vibe, maybe even towards how I was talking to someone or interacting. And you can't lead yourself that way and expect to lead others if you're in that space. So one class that I took that was really, really mind-blowing was, oh my goodness, I just took it. The Landmark Forum. Oh my goodness, I learned about all the things that I've done wrong and what I needed to release. And so you don't know the things you don't know.
Right.
So those are blind spots. So I started learning a lot about my blind spots, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm still learning things now. Yes. So I just go back to, at the end of the day, and meditation is huge. Spending time with yourself alone. So with that, Maria, I want to go back to
Wait, I want to say something, girl. I know you're not just gonna stop make us go past this. No, thank you for sharing that, because that's huge. I feel like really, like you mentioned, there was a lot of great things you said. And I think ultimately what it made me think of too is that sometimes because of, you know, even our parents as immigrants, like they go literally day to day, paycheck to paycheck. It was like never in the moment. They were never living in the moment. And so I think about how many of us, and I think a lot of us, I know Mariana's been through this too, like you don't enjoy the whole journey. And that's really what you said. Like you're just looking at the destination when it's like, wait, like once you get there, what, like, how's that gonna make you feel?
Yes.
So it's like, you know, fall in love with the journey, not the destination, because I feel like that's where the most beautiful moments happen. And I think I took that landmark with you as well, and it was really mind blowing. I think what stood out to me on that too, and I feel like now where you do more of this is like they talk about how you don't want to be sitting in the stands. Like you want to be in the field. You want to be in action and present at the moment. And I feel like we do, especially with social media right now, you can easily fall in the trap of like, pasan 2 horas y todavía estás en TikTok. Or you go down the rabbit hole. Like now you have a whole degree on like aliens and stuff. Like I've been through that. But it's like just being more powerful and really being in the moment and really enjoying all of that. I think you bring much more awareness of your life and your journey.
100%.
100%.
Yes. So with that, I was curious, Maria, do you have a certain morning routine that you do like to practice self-care, or do you practice it every now and then? Is it on your day, like calendar every day? Like, what does it look like for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, we put everything on our calendar. I feel like as soon as we wake up to like our night stuff. For me, it was really I'm not a morning person. And so I do a lot of my stuff at night. And that prepares me for the morning, so that way I can just get up, change, and go. Yes. But some of the things that I do is like I really need to, like, since I'm always like talking to people, always high energy. I do need my time to like to myself and just hang out, reset, refill my cup. So that way I can, again, be the best version of myself. So I started doing more on TikTok too, like get ready with me or get ready with me. Cause I do love spending time just like to myself, acknowledging my thoughts. One of the recent things, and I had mentioned to you that I started doing is like really writing all of my thoughts down, like sitting down and just writing everything that comes to mind. Cause I think like the stats of like, you get 80,000 thoughts a day. And 70 or 80% of them are reoccurring. So the same thought over and over again. And what was happening is I kept thinking about these thoughts over and over again when they were just like, nada que ver. Like it was just silly little things. If that was like something maybe a client told me that I was so upset I should have done better, like those little things, just writing them down and be like, look, it happened. You need to stop thinking about it, detach that emotion. So that way you can literally allow yourself to bring in the other blessings that are there, because you're blocking so much stuff with just those either negative thoughts or all these other thoughts that are just, like I said, nada que ver. So really writing things down to kind of clear my mind. And reading, I've been really focusing on reading things that I love, like social media, leadership, because it just helps, like, I think just grow your mind, right? And sometimes you have to read things like multiple times to like actually have it hit. And so that, and journaling, I love journaling. And I feel like I've always loved it because when I was little, I've always loved journals. Like even the ones that have like little locks, I would like buy the little key and stuff. But I loved journaling just about my day, how everything's going, how I was feeling, to kind of go back and be like, okay, if I'm feeling like this again, what made that happen? One, to just keep growing in general, you know, and obviously, like, I brush my teeth, do my hair, clean my face.
Like to know that you're hygienically.
Yes. How about you? What's your routine? Because you're a morning person, girl. Like, you get my emails at night, and I get yours in the morning. It's 5:30, and you got texts going. And
Yes, I'm definitely a morning person. For me, as soon as I wake up, I literally keep my eyes closed and I think about all the things that I'm grateful for. So literally my first thought is I'm just grateful for being alive, for having an opportunity to wake up, to go after my dreams, and to make a positive impact in the world. After I say what I'm grateful for, I wake up and I drink a glass of water as soon as I can.
Yes.
So every night, I literally have, you can ask Antonio, I have a glass of water next to me on my drawer. Just so that I can drink that because I want to get my body going, get it flowing, and then opening up the current so I can get direct sunlight so that I can have that positive energy. I wish I could tell you I'd be going to yoga every day, but that's a lie.
Every other
It's
week.
been more sporadic now. But I think the biggest thing for me is like, what are my intentions?
Yes.
So really writing down what's the main thing I really want to get done today. Is that making an impact on myself? Is it on others? It just depends on really the day. And then the IE, it's literally just business mode, game mode. Let's go. But I do it a lot at night as well.
Yes.
I need to decompress. It's a lot. Like you said, it's a lot of emotions, a lot of energy, a lot of conversations. And the best way is to get it out, dump it on paper. And sometimes it's literally when you have a bad day or even a great day, you can reflect back to it and look like, oh yeah. And I could literally, if you look at my notes, I have like 30,000 notes on my phone, just going back to what it felt that day. Every now and then I'll go back and I'll read them. If I need inspiration, if I need motivation, or if I just need to rethink my mindset, because sometimes, I mean, I want to say it was 80% of our thoughts are negative. And so it's so easy to be like, oh, I did this wrong, or I could have done this better, or fulanito said this to me in a certain way. Did I take it the right way? Or so I lay it all out there, and then I always go back, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I teach others? And then I finally just pray. I go to bed. I always read a Bible verse also every night. And then I call it good.
I love that. I think it's so needed. And I feel like a lot of us, even including me, I never used to do all of this. Like I would literally just wake up and like not even be grateful. Like I would just be like, it's time to get up. You know, it's time to get the day going. And even those little things, I think we've downloaded, there's an app that I have on my phone called I Am. Oh, yes. And every day, like it has a new affirmation or something you're grateful for that you say. And also like the Bible verse, I ended up downloading an app because as soon as I wake up too, like there's a Bible verse that's on your phone every day. And that's even huge because I feel like it's just a reminder of like, hey, be grateful. Like te levantaste today, you know?
Yes. I love that. What's the Bible app?
So the Bible app is called, #Bible is what it says.
Okay. I'm about to check it out.
Yeah, you should. And it has like even soothing music as soon as you open it up, and it has just a different Bible verse, and you can like swipe up.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not sponsored, but if this isn't sponsored by that. Yes. But I love that because like honestly, being in tune with what's yourself is huge. I feel like not a lot of us do that. And even when things get tough, you know, going back to like what you're grateful for, like things could be worse. And that's huge.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. No, and thank you. I did want to ask you before we kind of wrap up, Maria, I'm looking at some of these top questions that people were asking about self-care. So
I would love to hear from you guys too. Like, what do you guys do for self-care? Do you even do something for self-care? If you don't, like, highly, highly recommend it. I feel like we're slowly teaching, at least for me, I'm slowly teaching my husband to like, you know, just even writing things down or listening to podcasts to kind of get his brain going on like other things about how to take care of himself and be a better person.
Absolutely. And meditation is huge.
You know what? Talking about meditation, I always found it really hard because I would feel like I would fall asleep.
Really?
Yes. Until I actually, there was I think you had shared something with me it was in a book, the book that you shared with me.
Yes.
That had a whole meditation, like literally walking you through it. And I recorded myself. Remember we did when we were in Miami, we did a whole meditation in the morning using my audio.
Yeah, we did. It was awesome. Okay, Maria, I have to ask you.
Okay.
How do you set boundaries between your work life and your personal life? And how do you stay motivated and inspired to be great?
Oh my goodness. Okay. How do I set boundaries? That was the first one, right?
Yes.
Between my work and personal life?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. I will be honest, like I feel like I'm such a people pleaser. I'm definitely working on it. And I would do a lot of like, I wanted to please everyone, and I never had any sort of boundaries with myself, with clients, with family, with my partner. And I never realized how big of like a negative thing it caused on myself. And so I really had to think about like what brings me peace, and like really like understand that all of this saying yes a lot like was putting so much weight on me. So learning how to really say no was really huge, to either certain stuff that I just couldn't take on at work, to setting those boundaries with family, like for help or whatever that might be. I really had to internally understand who I really am to feel comfortable, because it felt so awkward saying no to people. Yeah. And I felt like it through time, and especially right now, has been so great to have some type of balance with like being at work and learning my capacity. Like when I know now, like when to say no, or when like things are like, Maria, you don't have to take that on. And I feel like I had to come into, I remember that day that it all happened. And I think I was with you ladies where you guys were like, Maria, you can say no. And I was like, okay, no, I can't do it. I can't do that.
I remember.
So really like understanding how to say no was definitely huge for me, and setting those boundaries. Like there's, what, I really can't, like I have something else that I've set that I was going to do, and I can't. And I feel like that caused a lot of kind of tension between, friends and family, because they're like, oh, so you don't want to help anymore, or you're changing, when it was like really just setting those boundaries.
You're respecting yourself.
Yes, I disrespected myself for so many years, and I hope, like, I don't know if you guys can relate, but like it felt like that, and now it's like you are your time and yourself, whatever you're gonna do, like it's much more worth it taking care of yourself then.
What is it that we talked about? You can't pour into others' cups unless you fill yours up first.
Exactly.
Right? And for every time, something that you said, it was learning how to say no. But every time you said yes to something, you were saying no to something else. Mm-hmm. So you were probably saying no to your self-care. Right. You were saying no to your you time, no to your family, no to all of these things, when sometimes like, shoot, I just wanted to be helpful.
Right.
And help everyone, but you can't help everyone if you can't help yourself. Right?
Exactly.
Oh, girl, yes, I hit deep.
Been there, done that.
Yes. And then the other question that I had, what was it? How do you maintain for you to just be great overall?
Keep motivated.
Yes, keep motivated to be great.
I think like everyone talks about, the very first thing that I learned going into real estate is like they would always ask me, what's my why? Like why? And I would be like, I don't know, because I want to be better, but it was never like very deep. And so through time, like it helped me it helped understand, like, regardless of what you're going through, like everyone has goals that they want to reach, and it's not always going to be a fun ride. So my why had to be really strong enough to, like, when you had such a bad day, everything was going wrong, because it happens in real estate. Like the highs are the highs and the lows are the lows. And so like during those low times, like what was going to get me and push me out of that like funk and get me going. And so I really had to really dig deep as to like, why am I ultimately doing all of this? And also being surrounded, like having those mentors or those people that you can go to when things do get rough, because I feel like a lot of people don't want to ask for help. And it's like that.
Been there, done that too.
And that's like during those times you want the most help that you can get. Like sometimes you just like, I feel like I think I had a friend tell me like, dang, you guys look like you're killing it. Like you guys are being so successful and, closing so many deals, when in the back end, it's so easy to say that, but it's like, yes, it might be like we're doing that and we are doing it, but behind the scenes, it's like we went through like hard work, long hours. Like even last Saturday, we spent literally 6 hours doing something we don't enjoy, but it was going to help our business overall, and we got it done and it felt so good. So I think for me, just being around individuals that, when things are tough, like helping you up And also just why are you doing what you're doing? Is your passion really there? Because if it's not really there, it's going to be really tough to get you out of that funk. So I think those two things were huge for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just to recap, learn how to say no. Understand why you're doing something. Be passionate about it. And then lastly, surround yourself with great people that can bring you back up.
Yes. And respect yourself, y'all.
Mic drop, y'all. You heard it here. No, I think that's super amazing and really inspiring. I can definitely relate to a lot of that.
Yeah. I was going to say, what about you?
Which part?
So how did you overcome setting those boundaries between work and life, personal work, having that balance? Let's start there.
Yeah. For me, it was getting clear what I want.
Yeah.
And just because I want it, not for any reason, me explaining it because then I really don't want it. It's just, I want what I want.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
So oftentimes people will tell us they want an explanation as to why we want something or why would you want to do that? Well, I want to choose to want to do that because I just choose it,
right?
Not for any specific reason. I don't need to have a reason. Otherwise, I'm not really choosing it. I'm justifying the reason for it.
Yes.
And I learned this through the Landmark Forum. It was like, just choose. What do you want to choose? So what I went back to is like, how do I want to live my day-to-day life? I want to be present. I want to feel joy. I want to give joy. I want to help others. And I just really went back to my values and I went to my calendar. And I'm like, on my calendar, I'm like, does it reflect my values? And does it reflect what I want, the lifestyle that I want? And when I looked at it, at first it was like, hell no, there's nothing on here that says, it just says work. So I've been very purposeful and I've been getting better every day. I'm still not there 100%, but spending time with my family, like we have date night. We have time where I even go to the big grocery stores because y'all, it was bad. I was working 24/7. Like there were,
yeah, I can attest to that.
Cleaning the house, like literally just breaking it down to what's important to me and just because I want it. And so that's really helped me. And then just sharing others my goals. Because when you tell others, they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Rocio wants to do this. And this is important to her. So when I share that with others, it's more than likely that people will be more understanding. And then knowing that boundaries are not a bad thing. Boundaries are a great thing. And it allows others to treat you the way you want. And it's not saying it in a bad way. It's like, hey, my business hours are actually from this to this. I operate from here to here. If there's ever an emergency, let me know. But otherwise, I'd always get back to you within 24 hours. And people respect that even more than me telling them that I'm available always.
Right.
I think that was what really helped me to really get started.
I love that. And how do you stay motivated?
Ooh.
How does Rocio Hermosillo stay motivated?
Girl, I don't know. It's just in me. I wake up ready to go every day. And I think it's my deep personality. I'm just like, we're going to get there. Let's go. That brings me joy.
Yeah.
Getting stuff done brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it. It just is. I'm like, ooh, we get to work on that. I love thinking outside the box. I love connecting the dots. I love connecting people to ideas when they haven't thought about it before. And I'm like, oh, you would be great at this.
Yes.
And so just involving myself in the things that I really enjoy and I'm really good at just makes life so much easier.
Focus on your strengths.
Hell yeah, don't work.
Yes.
Focus on those weaknesses. Toss
Right.
them or pass them on to who can help you with those, because God knows I would not be doing well with high detail stuff.
One last thing for all of our listeners, what would be a tip? Let's share a tip we each would give someone that might not be thinking so much about self-care but wants to begin. What will be one thing you recommend for them to, that they can even start implementing right now?
I would say reach out to someone you care, know, and trust and let them know, whether that's even asking for help or their advice, how they do it, to it's just reach out to someone else, because I almost promise you they've gone through the same thing.
Yes.
And it's so easy to not talk about it. It's a taboo almost that, oh, you don't talk about this. But someone that's done it, maybe a little older than you perhaps too, just because they have more life experience.
That's true.
So I would just say reach out to someone that you like, know, trust, that can help you in that area.
I love that.
What about you?
One tip I would give you guys that you can even start implementing right now, and I think you had mentioned it, Rocio, and it's something powerful that we do every day too, is literally just start being more grateful. Like wake up, go to sleep, like say something you're grateful for, even if that's to your partner. Start sharing that nice space that like you even feel better saying what you're grateful for. So start with that. I think ultimately it's gonna just bring you so much more joy and start your day in the right foot, end it in the right foot. So
Well, then let's end it in the right foot.
what are you grateful for?
Honestly, I'm extremely grateful for Abraham, which you can't see him, but he's on the back end day. Like literally his focus, his dedication, him being here after hours with us just for us to have this podcast and talk. I think honestly, it means a lot. And I think that goes back to also Infinite Resources and their leadership for providing a space like this, because it allows us to reach out to more people and make a bigger impact.
Yes.
So thank you, Abraham.
Thanks, Abraham. We love you. For me, I feel like I'm just grateful for things evolving, because like even just a platform like this where we can reach so many other people is something that I never imagined. Like I feel like we're in the era where like we had no internet and then the internet came and now we have like AI and everything. So I'm just really grateful to be able to use platforms like this in a good way, and really just thankful for everyone here.
Yes, thank you for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Rocio.
Thank you, ladies that are here.
Yes, they're still here. Okay, we were just kidding.
We're just kidding.
Yeah.
Yes. And we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.